Let's talk about what should we do if some of our data is categorical. Machine learning algorithms are designed to work with numerical data, but often we get data that has been recorded in a way that is not numerical. Now we're going to discuss two techniques that you could use to work with this data. The first is called one-hot encoding, and the second is called label encoding. Each approach has advantages and disadvantages. There is no one best technique. First, we're going to work with a different data set than we have before. This is a data set that's about mushrooms. The mushrooms are described in terms of their physical characteristics, and the goal is to classify whether the mushrooms are poisonous or edible. All of this data in its original form is categorical. None of this data is numerical, and that's not what we typically have worked with. We see that there are features that are things like the cap shape. Is it bell, conical, convex, flat, knobbed, or sunken? Or a cap surface. Is it fibrous? Does it have grooves? Is it scaly? Is it smooth? Etc. I have saved this data frame to my computer as a file called mushrooms.csv, and I'm going to do the basic data analysis process where I describe this data. I see a small number of unique values. So for instance, when you see something that has 6 unique values, that means that it's likely that this is a categorical observation. You're not seeing many different numbers. And to confirm that, I can use info, and my info command, I see over and over again that these are object variables. Object variables are going to be non-numerical. So that tells me that I'm going to do something with this data to make it be numerical so that I can work with it. To make my life a little bit easier, instead of dealing with all of the original 22 features, I'm going to restrict and just work with 2 features and the target. The first thing that I'm going to do is change the target so that instead of being called class, it's going to be called poisonous. So here I'm using the .map command. And what this is doing is it's replacing anywhere it sees a P in the class column with 1, and anywhere it sees an E with 0. So I'm making this be a binary class variable that is appropriate for the things we've talked about. Remember, your target must be encoded as 0s and 1s if you're going to do binary classification. Now I have created a simpler data frame called mydf, which has just 3 columns. Now there are 3 columns. You see my poisonous target, which is 1s and 0s, but my cap shape and my cap surface are still not numerical. So I have to deal with that. It's worth noting the thing I just did, I could have done using an sklearn built-in command called label binarizer, which would have worked as well.